now tuned in to the Cold Hard Truth, Cayman's #1 hard-hitting live podcast show, where we feature some straightforward conversations on political, social, and celebrity news and all things happening in the Cayman Islands and around the world. This show was created to give the people a voice and a means of being involved and informed without any filters. Sometimes it gets crazy, but we always keep it real. We bring you the tea, piping hot, so grab your favorite beverage and join the conversation via WhatsApp at 324-1612. Email tips@CaymanMarlRoad.com. Now, here's your host, Sandy Hill, broadcasting live from the beautiful Cayman Islands.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're good. We're just in a little commercial break on the radio right now.
Good. Awesome.
Yeah.
How is everybody?
How is CMR land? How's your daily buzz last night?
It was a little bit late, but it was still good. A work in progress, but we're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
It's the new year, new working out things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like me trying to work out what I was just about to say.
You're coming by for a visit today.
I am.
You're going to come to the radio studios.
Ooh.
I know, right?
Ooh.
Pretty
Yes.
exciting. Cool. We'll look forward to seeing you later on.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Waking up this morning to a lot of spam messages from India. I don't know why.
They want you to send them money?
Oh my God. I've got like at least 10 messages here from plus area code 9192.
You got to just avoid anything like that.
Gosh,
Yeah.
what is
I
going on?
I got a really good spam email the other day that
Is
even
there a
told
way
me.
to block?
Yeah, you can block WhatsApps.
Yeah.
No,
You
no,
got-
no, no. Can you block an entire area code?
Well, you can
No.
block. No,
I
I
think
don't think
anytime
so.
a new one comes through, you got to just block
Yeah,
it.
you got to block it.
Gosh, I got like 20 to do this morning. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Mm.
Ooh, somebody will come found our number somewhere.
Well, clearly they've heard of CMR in India, and they want you to, be a part.
Gosh. No, this is crazy. Oh my God, this is crazy. I tell you no lie, I keep scrolling and it just doesn't stop.
Like that many.
Emails or WhatsApps?
No, WhatsApp messages.
WhatsApps. Oh, okay.
They should allow us to block entire area codes because listen, if I'm not expecting anybody from India to be messaging me, then I don't want to wake up to like 20 because of late messages.
That's
That's what happens when you're a celebrity. All right, so don't complain when you got paparazzi from India wanting to get your attention.
maybe they've got the latest on the Marl Road in India for you.
That's right.
They really want to let you know. I don't know.
All right, let's go live on the radio. Are you ready for us? You have your
Oh yeah.
okay. Stand
You're
by.
born ready. I can't hear anything if you're playing it. Mhm.
Big news. I have some important news for you. Interesting news.
It's Blake and Aaron's Spilling the Tea with Sandy.
Cayman's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Good morning, Sandy.
Good morning, Blake and Aaron, and all of your listeners and the beautiful Cayman Islands and beyond.
Absolutely.
Good morning. It's a great, beautiful day, and I see
It is.
someone posting up about the temperature outside. It's actually been beautiful outside.
77 degrees right now.
I was a little cold taking the dog out for a piddle this morning.
You had to put on a little jumper, as they say.
No, I should have.
You
But
can
it was-
definitely feel the temperature.
It was
Yeah.
definitely cool.
This is just the perfect time of year for just the most beautiful weather in Cayman, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for I need a pool.
enjoy it.
I need all the pools need to be heated though.
Yeah, it's a
I
little
can't
chilly.
deal with it.
getting into the water for sure. Even in the ocean is a little bit chilly, but
Yeah.
it's nice once you get in.
Yeah.
But remember, August,
Yeah, exactly.
July, August. How?
See, I wish my pool felt the way it does
Yeah.
now in August.
Mhm.
So it's like that ice cold, like cool you down really, but it doesn't work that way. Life does not work out that way.
All right,
I sympathize with you, Aaron, because I've got a toddler who's trying to do swimming lessons. Every time she gets in, she's so freezing that she's focused on being so cold. But I have a solution for you.
Ooh. Pool
Gain
heater.
a couple pounds.
a wetsuit.
What?
Gain a couple pounds. The more
Gain a
body fat you have, the warmer you'll be in the pool.
Listen, I tried that too over lockdown, and still it's freezing. I need a pool heater or like get one of those solar blankets. But I feel bad for the kids because I do want to swim.
all that happened when Erin gained weight is just that more of her was cold.
Yes, exactly. That was exactly what it was. Yeah.
Oh man, that didn't work. Okay.
All right, let's jump into the headlines. What do we got this morning?
All right, so we have over 500 suspected Omicron cases. So that number, obviously, as expected, is continuing to rise exponentially.
Do you remember when we were like, man, I hope Delta doesn't show up.
Yeah.
And then we were like, man, I hope Omicron doesn't show up.
And now
right,
IHU and
Yeah.
all sorts of other stuff.
That's
Yeah.
fine. It is what it is. It's always going to mutate. If
I
you're
know.
surprised by the mutations, then you're not reading what's going on.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us, honestly, we're still a little bit in Wonderland. Remember swine flu, how it came and then it disappeared mysteriously?
Yeah.
People we're still thinking, yeah, that's what it's going to be with Delta. I mean, with coronavirus, but
Oh, yeah.
COVID-19 is here to stay.
Do you ever just have those moments that I was walking through the grocery store yesterday, and I think we're all just so acclimated to the bizarro world that we live in right now. But I was walking through the grocery store and just looking at everybody in there wearing a mask
No, it's
on their
weird,
face.
yeah. I
Isn't
know.
it? It's just, do you ever have those moments where you're like, what planet are we living on right now?
Yeah.
Where everybody walking around is wearing a mask. It's just bizarro.
I enjoy it.
The new normal.
I enjoy hiding behind it.
Yeah.
I had walking into Kirk's yesterday at the grocery store, had some guy. What did he say? Darling, hi, darling, hi. And I can't stand being spoken to. Someone could say good morning, and I'll say good morning back, but don't call me darling, don't call me sweetie. I hate that.
That's
stuff.
just old school.
Oh no, but and then so I'll ignore you. Oh, you're so rude, no manners. You can't even say hi. It's like, why do I deserve a hi to you? So I could just hide behind my mask, and I really enjoyed that.
So moral of the story is don't greet Aaron.
You can say hi to me, but say hi as good morning, not
yes, not in an overly friendly way.
Not well, he was being creepy, he deserved me to say hi to him because he's a man and I'm a woman or something. It was you wouldn't talk to a guy that way. Don't talk to a woman that way. That's my PSA for today.
Well, and then he pinched your butt. That wasn't
well, he would have got punched if he did that. Knocked off his little.
Yeah, we probably would have been bailing her out today.
But do you remember, do you remember back in the, maybe a couple of years ago, not even that long ago? Yeah, it's been a couple of years, I guess, now since COVID. But you would see somebody on an airplane wearing a mask, and you'd be like, "Why is that?" You would be like, "That's so weird."
Remember when Jackson used to wear one, and we all thought he was weird?
Yes.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to wear a mask, I think, even after this is over on a plane, because, you can just get colds from planes no matter what.
I'm with you.
It's not over. Listen, it ain't over, and it's not over. So
let's say 20 years
get your
from
opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
So Air Canada apparently is canceling flights.
What?
Wait, what?
Does this have to do with them getting the flight staff getting COVID or?
Well, yes, they have basically they're suspending 14 of their Caribbean routes, including Grand Cayman, until the end of April.
Wow.
So,
but isn't Air Canada flying now? I've seen the plane here.
Yeah.
So that's done, is what you're saying.
Yeah, until the end of April. A lot of countries are pulling back a little bit because there is a significant uptick. So it was announced on their website yesterday. They issued a travel advisory, and so unfortunately, if you're planning a trip to any of the Caribbean islands, really, from Havana to Bermuda, Santo Domingo, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, St. Martin, obviously the Cayman Islands, you will have to rethink your dates.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I've got my mom and stepdad leave on Monday, so we have to do their PCR for the United States on Sunday. But yeah, you hope that the connection flights after the Cayman Airways flight, they're still on, because a lot of people have been getting the snowstorm canceled a lot of flights, people getting the attendants getting Omicron.
Yeah. Anything else before we let you go, Sandy?
Someone did mention that WestJet so far will continue to fly. Apparently there was a hate crime in the Cayman Islands. This is really sad. What? This happens to me. Yeah. Several men were accosted and assaulted at the Strand, and the two men who assaulted the other two men at the Strand complex, this was about 12:20 in the morning on Monday, call them homophobic slurs. And the police are treating this as such. And so they have launched an investigation, and they basically believe these men were assaulted due to their sexual orientation. Terrible. And so they are issuing a very stern warning that this type of violence is inexcusable and has absolutely no place in our community. And as a result, they are investigating this, and hopefully they'll be making some arrests. One guy had a broken nose. This is terrible. Wow.
Was this does this have anything to do with the nightclub there?
I don't know. There's a couple nightclubs in the Strand now.
Yeah. I was going to say, the Strand parking lot seems to have a lot of issues.
Yeah. I think the management, I think it might be a strata. I think they really need to revisit, what they want to do with the Strand, and maybe some additional security for the entire complex. Yeah. So there was an accident heading into town after the gas station by Lantern Point. So if you're sitting in traffic this morning and you think it's a little bit slower than usual, that's probably why.
Wonderful. That's
excellent. All you need is one road closed.
Yeah.
And
that's the main
go to hell in a handbasket.
Yep. If everyone could just drive normally, we'd be fine.
Yeah. All right, Sandy, we're going to let you go. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Good one.
This segment brought to you by Doctors.
All right, folks. Good morning. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We got a lot to discuss this morning. Give me one quick second to simply post the accident post for those who may not be tuned in. They can get this information. Big shout out to Recover Cayman. These are the people, the legal experts that you want to call if you're in an accident. And trust me, you would be surprised how sometimes you try to navigate being in an accident on your own, and you really need some good legal advice. You need a lawyer to get in there and fight on your behalf. I know a lady who was in an accident recently, and as a result of being in the accident, she actually had a heart attack. Can you believe that? Like, she literally had a heart attack. And so, her insurance company was giving her the runaround. So imagine being in a car accident, having a heart attack, being in the hospital because of that and other injuries. And then you're trying at the same time to navigate your insurance. And then your insurance is giving you a hard time. Well, I said to her, take my word of advice, call the guys over at Recover. Now, they're part of the Broadhurst Group and attorneys at law, and they're going to get her sorted out. You insurance companies, y'all not easy, but the people have somebody on their side. So don't try to navigate this yourself, because these insurance companies will use you, abuse you, and frustrate you to the point of no return. You need a lawyer. Trust me, sometimes it's just a matter of sending a little email and they'd be like, oops, she got herself a lawyer. We better pay up and get her ish together. Good morning to all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. We've got Miss Morna, Miss Sue, Miss Marshall, Wee Wee, Olivia, Chantel. Over 200 people in the live already. Boy, y'all love some sus. So I was just saying on 106 that I woke up to a slew of spam messages, and the ones that I really want, of course, I cannot find this morning, because I wanted to actually tell this young lady that I'm going to be discussing something on the show this morning. So another alert has come in to say that, traffic alert that is, to say that police are at the roundabout of Cost You Less, and traffic is still going through, but it looks like the inner lane is closed off. Not sure if a car mounted the roundabout, as there's a car on it again. Oh my God. That roundabout has now become, I think, the latest hotspot for the most bizarre accidents. Good morning, Miss Brenda. 70 degrees. I felt the chill when I walked out this morning. It felt so good, actually. I was like, ooh, I could almost put on a sweater. Not quite. And my daughter's like, oh, Mom, it's so refreshing. That was a term that she used. She's like, it's so refreshing out here today. And I'm like, yeah, that's as close as she's probably gotten to. I don't think it's really dipped this low in a while. So to the best of her recollection, this is as cool as it's gotten, right? Good morning, Leroy. Same beautiful weather. Evelyn, good morning. Felicia, Senor Robert is here. Tracy, Catherine, Angelique. I tell y'all, we've got 260 people already. Chantel, shout out to my YouTubers. Alice, Leslie, Diamond Princess. Everybody's here this morning because, boy, we got a lot to talk about. Omar says, thanks for the present. Yes, congratulations. Now, there's some of you who still haven't collected your presents. Yes, I got my list here somewhere. I know most of you have, but, oh, Lord, where's my list? Oh, yes, good. All right, so Miss Brenda has been sorted. Rose has been sorted. Tracy, I'm still waiting to get you sorted. Jake, where's Jake? Jake needs to get sorted. Richie, I don't think Richie wants his present. I haven't heard from Richie. We got Deanne. Mr. Darrell has been sorted. Omar has been sorted. And Jared, when he returns to Cayman, will be sorted. So we still got about 4 people who won prizes. Tracy, I got to get to her because she did reach out to me. But Jake, Richard, and Deanne, if you want your prizes, do let me know. We got them waiting for you. So we can get y'all sorted out. But you're welcome, Omar. Hope you enjoyed. Oh, girl, we are coming to that hot mess of a situation. Give me 1 second. I woke up with a headache this morning, and I think it's this like pinched nerve thing that I have in the back of my head. What's it called again? The occipital nerve. Because it's a different kind of headache. It like emanates kind of from the back and kind of comes forward. So I am feeling that. I'm going to drink lots of water today in any event. I've been told that when that happens, I can just kind of monitor it, or I can come in and get an injection in the back of my neck. And somehow, of all the places to get an injection, that just doesn't feel like the place that I want to get an injection. So, Lord have mercy. So I try to grin and bear it. Like I literally will just get like a massage and do all this kind of other stuff. Just see if I can get through it. Yeah. So we talked about that last night, but the baby supplies and the duty and stuff, we can touch on it a little bit again this morning. Natasha, good morning. Oh, that's what it is. Car mounted the roundabout and into the accent wall. Right. Local. That's crazy. What is it with that spot now? Lord have mercy. Anyway, we'll post that up. And Atlas says it's freezing in the UK. Good morning, Daisy. Good morning to Maria. Dale is here. Dion, we're going to have a little miniature segment of Tagalog Thursdays. So send out your alerts to all of the members of the Filipino community that they should log in, because they are going to, actually, I need to go get my notebook. I'll have to take a little break at one point, but they are definitely going to want to hear, they're going to want to hear, this story today. I was in court yesterday, and it's very, very interesting. Richie says, how do I get my present? I've been waiting on you. All right, we'll get you sorted out. Miss Brenda says, thank you very much. You're welcome. Aliano, thank you. So let me show you guys what the scammers are up to today. This is like heavy on the messages. So this is my WhatsApp messaging this morning. And okay, this person from Jamaica is looking, how do I apply for work permit to come to Cayman? I said, find someone who has a job for you. And they said, I really don't know anyone over there. Can you help me? The short answer is no. So I'm going to reply as politely as I can to say, no, I can't help you. We're not hiring, and we're not a placement agency. But look at this, spam. Oh, this one has the nerve to send me a photo. Really? Spam. Those are people I know. Oh, look, it's Lovell. Saying that God considers her worthy. Okay. I already had her blocked from another number, but Lovell is so smart that she can afford to have, and obviously financially well off, that she can afford to have more than one number. Lovell, I'm coming for you this morning. God is going to be with you. Okay. Look at this one. What area code is 92? I think 91 is India. So somebody from 92. Oh no, girl. No. You have some nerve sending me these things. And here's another one that has a voice note that they're sending. Oh, they're bright. Another one. Here. And it just goes, look at all of these. These are all spam messages that I have woken up to this morning. What happened last night? Was there like a big conference in India that I knew nothing about, and everybody decided to share my number? I mean, really? And it is a little bit annoying because now I have to go through and legitimately block all of those messages. I wish there was a way to like mass block people, because the honest truth is, oh no. Oh my God. Oh, Lord have mercy. No. Oh man, there's a fatality this morning on that bypass by Cost You Less. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh. Let me get Renee on this to post this up. Lord have mercy. Jeez. So crazy. I was going to say, what the hell is up with that roundabout? Oh my God. Let me look at the picture. Man. Where's the car? Whoa. Hold on. Hold on one second, y'all. This is so crazy. Ugh. I was going to say, with the whole spamming thing, right? Give me 1 second. One of the issues with it is, unfortunately, when they're spamming me, that means that legitimate messages are pushed all the way down the the list of sorry, the list of like messages. Oh my God, I can't believe it. What the heck? Wow. Yeah, legitimate messages are pushed all the way down. I was kind of thinking about this last night with the premiere. And the person who called in, which I think was a fake account. I mean, I don't know why, you guys call in, you say what you got to say, whatever. But to me, when you start like engaging in all these fake accounts and stuff, it does make me wonder why. Like, what's the point, really? So this is so sad. Oh my God. Another fatality. So yeah, but I do know, even before the premiere came on the show, he was actually running late because he was on a phone call. Now, I don't know who he was talking to. I'm not in the man's business like that. I don't need to know all that. But what I do know is that I do not think that you guys appreciate I don't think that you guys appreciate how overwhelming it can be. Like, literally, if he did nothing else but just answered your calls and answered the phone and answered your WhatsApp messages, he wouldn't be able to run this country. And I think some of you all, I'm going to say this and then we're going to move on to the topics of the day. Some of you all really just, really? You know what? Can I not in my WhatsApp settings? Give me a second. Some of y'all really want to be able to call on the premiere for like every little thing. Like, oh, my child bucked their toe. I need to call Wayne because I need $5 to go buy a Band-Aid or whatever. And I think this is where, as a community, we could do a much better job with trying to be a little bit more where's my security settings? We could be a little bit more self-reliant. We can understand that not everything you need to contact the premiere for. Like, it's so amazing because I get a little bit of it. You guys know I'm not into politics anymore in that sense of the word, right? I have no interest in ever running for political office again. And yet I think people treat me as though I'm an elected official. They call me with all of their problems, and I get it because you help one person, you solve their problem. Then they're like, oh, don't call the government because they're of no use to you. Call Sandy because she'll get it done. And let us be quite frank and honest here. there is a little bit of a fear factor. You mentioned CMR's name, and all of a sudden people start jumping up. No. We don't want it in CMR. We'll take care of it. I mean, I've heard people go to the hospital and get the runaround from the hospital. Like this same lady I was telling you about who was in the car accident and had a heart attack. She was trying to get a report, which they should have given her the day that she went there, for insurance purposes. And they didn't give it to her. So then when she went back, they then told her, oh, yeah, it's going to be this additional fee and you've got to wait 4 days and blah, blah, blah. She's like, what? 4 days? And it was actually a report for her heart, since she had a heart attack, to go to Health City. And she's like, 4 days is a long time for that report. I could literally be dead in 4 days. I'm at Health City because she was transferred there. They need the report now. And the HSA was like, we soon get to you. We're busy. 4 days. And then she got really upset. And she actually went in there really upset. And all she had to do was drop CMR's name. All of a sudden, the $20, whatever they were going to charge her, that fee disappeared. Oh, no. We're going to just give you the report because they weren't supposed to charge her. It was supposed to be part of her original assessment and whatever that process was, right? So there shouldn't have been a separate after the fact reporting fee because they should have given it to her the day she was admitted. Anyway, all of a sudden now the fee disappears and they could get it to her in 10 minutes instead of 4 days. And she was like, really? I mean, the woman called, you would not believe the messages that this woman have sent me. Oh my God, Sandy, God bless you. You have no idea. I get those all the time. So I suppose if someone is able to get things done, somebody just messaged me and said CMR is the people's ombudsman. I get that. If you have someone who can agitate on your behalf, then you will definitely use that. But it is overwhelming. Like I tell people, that isn't my job. That isn't my full-time job. I help people where I can for sure. But I do have actually 2 very active businesses that I run. And they take time, I have a family and I need a little bit of downtime. I need a life of my own. And so do all other politicians. They're all, they have families. I think the men typically have it easier than the women because a lot of the women, although I think the ones that we've elected, none of them are of, I won't say childbearing age, but none of them are young enough to have younger children. It's got to be even more difficult when you've got younger children because you're still responsible for picking up, dropping off. You are a wife, you are a mother, you have these obligations. Men tend to have support. So they can pretty much push off a lot of the family obligations on somebody else sometimes. But obviously it depends on the family dynamics. For example, you guys, I don't know if you know this now, I think I might have mentioned this in the show, but the premier actually has I don't know if I think he's a foster son. So he has a foster kid and he drops this young man off to school and he does school pickups, I guess, when he can. So y'all thinking the man is just sitting there in the government building for 18, 20 hours a day. Well, he may be doing that, but he is also, in addition to that, a father to a young man who's I think he's in high school. I think he's in high school and he has drop-offs. He has activities. Y'all need to lighten up a little bit, I think, on, I'm going to call the premier right now and he better answer my call. I try not to call the man if I can help it, honest to God, because I know how busy he is. I try not to call too many of them if I can help it. Miss Brenda, I have seen a neurosurgeon actually. I think he was, Dr. I can't remember his name now. The one in the Strand upstairs. And that's he was the one who diagnosed what it is. So that's why I know what it is now, because before I thought it was high blood pressure. I'm like, am I starting to get migraines at my age? Like, what's going on? Gavin, good morning. Good morning, Lenny. So folks, unfortunately, if you're just tuning in this morning, we do have a fatality. We have almost 300 of you who are here for no doubt. I know the reason. Ay. Oh, you got your gift already? Oh, so it's Diana. Where did I meet you for your gift? I'm trying to remember. Diana. Oh gosh, my brain is like. Was it by the coffee shop? I can't remember now. All right. Well, good. Then I can take you off my list. I'm pronouncing that extra I in your name, Diana. Okay. All right. Well, I can cross you off my list. Thank you very much, darling. Appreciate the update. So that means I've only got Tracy, Jake, and Richie, and then Jared when he comes back. All right. Very good. Mr. Dion, Gavin. I don't know what that gibberish is, Gavin. Omar, it's a beautiful morning, says Alice. Good morning, Donnie. Thank you, guys. Alice says, don't tell. Shani. Carol says, oh, God, that's what the holdup was. They had cleared it, but obviously still doing investigations. Yeah, the road is still blocked off. Roger says it's coming from the woman who's reading the news. Why would it be coming from her? You think because she's from Goya, all of a sudden they're like on the platform? I have gotten some messages before, but I must say last night was the first. So maybe they're seeing her and thinking, ooh, Misha looks like one of us. So let's message this number. Because I see it on CMR. Lord have mercy. Well, I don't know what happened. I don't know how, the number's obviously on Facebook, so it probably isn't that hard to find, but yeah, I'm going to fix them this morning. Don't y'all worry about that. We can get them sorted out. Okay. All right, folks, let's move on to talk about, we got a full slate of topics. Yeah, Vernice, it didn't take time for a road fatality to happen on the 6th day of the year. Deep Blue Sea says being a politician in this country requires you to be a babysitter for grown-ass adults. Yes, child, there is an element of that. Unfortunately. You know what's interesting, Deep Blue Sea? I think, oh, that was the day I was busy cooking. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, child, it was a quick trip. Yes, and I think Deep Blue Sea, it does come with the territory a little bit. So I guess politicians have to, when they're getting into it, they have to understand. I think a lot of them were not ready for it, but they have to understand a little bit of what they're getting into, right? And that becomes your life. That becomes your life. People messaging you all day long, and if you don't message, they get upset with you. Like I've heard people say, oh, well, he didn't stop by my house for Christmas. And I'm like, okay, well, did you need anything? Did your kid really need another toy that was going to clog up your house? Because to me, toys are some of the most annoying things in the world. I get it. Our children need them. But how many do you need? Oh, he didn't bring me a hammer turkey. Did you need a hammer turkey? I always tell Chris Saunders, who's my MP, he goes around and hands out his fruitcakes to everybody. I appreciate it. I do. But I don't even eat fruitcake. So it's not for me. I take it and I pass it on to somebody else who either loves fruitcake or is in need of a fruitcake during the holiday season. So I pass along Chris's love and affection to others. If Chris didn't come and deliver a fruitcake to me, would I get offended? No. I don't need an MP at that level. Some of y'all really need to understand that you make your MPs less effective when you're constantly calling them and banging on their door for $5 handout. I'm just saying. Oh, today's the anniversary of that. Oh, wow. Thank you, Miss Brenda, for the reminder. It's been a year already. Wow. Time flies. All right, let's get into it. Give me 1 second here. Let me pull up her videos, and then I want to talk to you guys. Let's start off with why 99.9% of you are here. I hope you'll stick around for the other discussions, though, because there are quite a few things otherwise that we need to be talking about in this country. I'm going to get my notebook, and I'm going to break down what happened in court yesterday as well, because you guys really want to follow these cases. I think it's important for more reasons than one. So our friend Lovell is at it again. I don't even know why Lovell is messaging this morning. I already blocked her from one number because I said to her, I said, Lovell, she'd messaged me one day, and of course she thumps the Bible like that's going to be her saving grace. Girl, I don't know exactly what kind of God we're dealing with, but what I can tell you is you constantly rehearsing Bible verses. I don't know where you've gotten them from or whatever. That's not going to be your saving grace. And I don't want to speak to what's in your heart because only the good Lord would know that. But what I do want to tell you is that doesn't impress me. I'm not impressed by the fact that you can quote the Bible, because let's be very honest here. The devil was the biggest sinner in the end, and he was also an angel, and he also knew the Bible. Well, the Bible didn't exist then technically, but he would know the good book, if it did exist then, inside and out. So your ability to quote the Bible and to call on God and to call all this hatred down in the name of God does not impress me one bit. And I'm also not intimidated or afraid of your ridiculous rants that you go on with. So I want to make myself very clear, because Lovell will be coming for me later on today, child. I expect her to strip naked and do the most today after the show, which, by the way, apparently yesterday she did the most anyway. And I'm going to talk about that. Y'all thought that you saw, what she was doing, and y'all thought that was horrible. Well, apparently I have eyewitnesses who live in the government building who say she was doing way more than that. Y'all just don't know. But I'm going to break it down for you. Let's see here now. Because I suppose what you don't know is they say ignorance is bliss. Lovell, if it's professional help you need, then I'm going to suggest it's professional help that you get. But here in the cold hard truth, I'm gonna just tell y'all exactly what I feel this morning, because I'm not sure of her mental state, and I don't want to necessarily. I'm no expert on that, but I do think whatever is going on with Lovell, she has more than enough sense to handle her business. She's actually a very smart and intelligent person. And she knows when to turn it on, when to turn it off, and when to turn up the ante. And so that alone should be giving police the freedom to deal with her in a very, very specific way. I mean, this has just gone too far. So for those of you who missed it, because I'm assuming some of y'all may have missed it yesterday, this is what was being sent out that some of us had to, unfortunately, deal with early yesterday. And this made me physically sick to my stomach to see this, but I'm going to show it to y'all because this is a ridiculousness that is happening in front of our government administration building. She's been out by the governor's residence, tortured that poor man to death, and now this. And I'm going to tell y'all in a second here what I think the solution is for Lovell. Marie, missing that. You're missing that. Dog. Jesus. Really? Hey, she be calm. You want to wait there? No. Calm. You better go touch her. Tell her don't do that. Right? Calm. You go up to her behind her. Go touch her like that. I want to make the bang at the record. She know. All I see in hands swing. I want to make the bang at the record. My God, can't go in a bad life. All right, folks. So that's Lovell and all of her. I definitely don't want to say glory. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is, except it's disgusting and it's really sick. Lovell, I know you're listening this morning, honey child, because I already see you messaging me. You got up early enough to message me and to find time in your day. Stop it. Stop it. Do you not have any shame at all? You know what's so amazing about Lovell? Like, I'd message her. She messaged me. This is why I ended up blocking her. And then she starts messaging me about how I'm a Jezebel. I'm a this. I was like, girlfriend, please choose your words carefully, because your crackhead stupidity does not absolve you from being taken to court and being sued by somebody. But the audacity of someone like her to get in front of people and carry on like this, knowing full well that she's showing her pornography all over Kingdom Come, and then call somebody a friggin' Jezebel? Woman, you must want me box you from here, from Newlands to West Bay and all the way back again. You are disgusting. Don't insult me with terms like Jezebel or whatever you were saying in your stupid message, calling people the whore word and all kind of stuff. No one in this world can say that they have seen my panani all over social media. You, on the other hand, have the record for that. Thousands of people can now say that they have seen your flabby ass and in part shaking all over the place. What's wrong with you? How can you walk around with a Bible and actually go to church? When you go to church, do your church people embrace you and welcome your nonsense? Just because you can put on a proper dress that day and turn on the, oh, today I'm going to be sane button? Because her sanity seems to be very, very selective. And this is why I question it. I know some of y'all are like, oh, she crazy. It takes a certain type of personality to do this kind of bullshit. But this isn't the crazy that requires medication. This is a calculated crazy. This is someone who's a friggin' narcissist, is trying to hold this country hostage and is very much aware that the political arm is afraid to touch her because, oh, she has been diagnosed with a mental health issue and she is suing the government. Sue the government all you want. You think you could go in a court of law and carry on like this because you're suing the government? They would put you in jail so fast you wouldn't know what to do. Oh, she knows how to behave when she has to behave. And so in my mind, this behavior is absolutely reprehensible, disgusting, and unacceptable. And I don't care who like it. We asked the premier about it last night. Of course, he has to be diplomatic. I don't have to be diplomatic. You see, this is why I don't want to be no elected official. Y'all be like, oh, Sandy, you got some solutions. No, thank you. Because the days that y'all need a dose of the cold, hard truth, diplomacy is not going to save you. We need to have a conversation about why is it that this woman gets up every single morning. She's in good health, living off of NAU, don't want to hold a job because clearly you got a friggin' lot of energy. Girl, you could be going to King Sports Center and teaching an aerobics class. Do you know that you can go out there and shake your bonk and get paid for it in certain circles in certain situations? Outside of prostituting, I mean. Right? They got pole dancing classes. You want to get your groove on? Go teach a pole dancing class. You'd be surprised how many y'all fools would show up for it. Once she brings the Bible in the room, y'all will be there. Oh, hallelujah. Shake it. Shake your panani, girl. Let's get it. In the name of God, all in the name of Christianity. Y'all are an embarrassment to God with your foolishness. But there are opportunities for her. She was on the radio, out there doing a show. The woman has some talent when she's not trying to be an attention whore. That's her biggest problem. She's doing all this to garnish and get your attention. What for? Lovell, this isn't going to help you. It doesn't help you that every single place you go, people are looking at you like you are crazy. And like, what is the situation, Lovell? You know, you're not gaining any fans here. If anything, you are seriously doing a disservice to yourself and your family. Now, if you don't care anything about yourself, that's one thing. But you, woman, actually have children. And my God, if there was ever a mother to be embarrassed of, I would change I don't know what their names are, but if they're carrying that Marriott name, I would change my name. I would want nothing to do with you. And I'm sure that as a mother, you yourself must feel that situation. Why are you doing this? You claim that I'm going to show you guys another video here. You claim that because Dr. Lockhart actually diagnosed you with a mental health issue, that he was trying to kill you. No, honey, that's trying to give you some help. And all you're doing day in, day out is that you are proving more and more and more that you definitely have an issue. Oh, really? Oh, we getting all this sauce on Lovell this morning. We're going to share it with you because You not easy, woman. And I'm sorry if I have to say that you're not going to continue to hold this country hostage because of your shenanigans. Now, before that video was taken, other eyewitnesses in the government building said that this woman was essentially sexually gratifying herself digitally. That's as nice as I can say it without making y'all bring up your breakfast this morning. So y'all think that that video was the worst? It wasn't actually the worst. She was doing more than that. You think it's a coincidence that Lovell goes into her closet every day and picks out the shortest possible shorts that she can wear to go out there to protest? This is not a protest, right? This is trying to hold the people of this country hostage with her shenanigans. Now, let me show y'all something. After I posted it, someone said the police are going to go for her. I expected them to arrest her for that because that's lewd. That is, listen, they've arrested people in this country for wearing a G-string because that's not allowed. Okay, so y'all Bible thumpers who still have all these antiquated laws on the book, why aren't you asking for those to be enforced against Lovell? She's committing offenses here, and I don't care whether she's mentally sane or not. Arrest her and put her in mental health court. Force her to get help because she's actually committing offenses doing what she's doing. That type of behavior is not allowed. Oh, but because she's suing the government, we're afraid, or because she's protesting. You know what's going to happen? Let me tell you what's going to happen. The government is going to sit back and do nothing about it. And she's going to continue to torment the people in this country. And at some point, this situation is going to go left with someone walking by her. Like I said, there are times I've had to go to the government building and I have refused to go because of this woman out there. Isn't that sad? I can't even go and conduct business because of the likes of Lovell. Because you see, if she roll up on me with her foolishness, I'm going to be forced to defend myself. And that's the position that the government is putting people in. They're putting not just people to see this stuff and bring up their breakfast every morning, but they're also putting people in a position where one day somebody's going to walk by and say, girl, why you don't get your life together? You're disgusting. And then she's going to want to get in their face and, accost them or whatever. And this is going to become a violent situation. That's what the police are waiting for. Y'all need to understand prevention versus cure. Here, they said, she'd make a killing in a strip club. What a mess. Well, I don't know nothing about that. Shani, good morning. Something's definitely off, though, for her to behave like Tina Turner on meth. Miss Brenda says importation of poverty and more to come, sadly. Siobhan, good morning. Siobhan says distasteful and disgraceful. Now, I tell y'all that when the woman goes to Jamaica, nothing wrong with her once you get to Jamaica, because in Jamaica, they would deal with her in a different way. Jamaica has a very different way of dealing with people. Brenda says, please don't put her and Tina Turner in the same sentence. And I agree with that. This is not what Tina Turner does. So, folks, good morning to Miss Lorna. Happy New Year's, my dear. It is really disturbing, but I want you guys to now watch this other video, which was taken minutes after the police spoke to her, and juxtapose this against what it is that she was doing just minutes before.
Time now is 1:27 p.m. This is her after she was just observed dancing, shaking her tush. Police went by and spoke to her. She packed up, changed clothes, and is now walking the street as an apparently respectable woman. People who say that she is crazy need to explain this to me, because the craziness appears to be very temporary and something she can obviously control. Right from the police station, walking perfectly normal.
So listen to me, folks. This is her literally minutes after she left. After the police came and spoke with her, she changed her clothes. And apparently with the change of clothes, comes a very different mindset. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I mean, just disgusting. Is this an indication of someone who really has a mental health issue, or someone who simply knows how to play everybody for a fool in this country? I'll leave that up to you guys to determine. I don't know. But what I know is her behavior on the streets of the Cayman Islands, on our government steps, should no longer be permitted. And I'm going to give you all the solution. I hope government is paying attention this morning, because the solution is very easy. Change the law if you need to. Y'all do it like that when something else comes up with financial services. So it can't be that difficult. First of all, in order for you to protest, you should be applying, and I should know, from the RCIPS, and you actually you fill out the form and you get permission, and they can say yes or no. Lovell has never once applied to protest anywhere. So once again, not following procedure and what the law says, but we're still allowing this foolishness. If y'all are not willing to enforce that law, here's another one for you. Ready for a little nugget? Change the law so that protesting is not permitted at certain locations. Make her go down and swamp and do that, or somewhere else. But in Georgetown Central, on the steps of the government building, no. Make it illegal. Make it illegal for her to do it at the governor's residence. Simple. Legislate this. And when she does it, have her arrested. And then they can put her in mental health. Because when you get arrested, all of a sudden, when you're looking at some jail time, you really come to your senses. And then it's, oh, yes, put me in mental health court because I need help. Force her under the mental health law to take her medication if this is really a mental health issue. She is refusing care. And we say, and I understand the legal distinction, Elvis can get arrested for making threats via social media. She doesn't directly make any threats, although she's always calling down the good Lord on people, right? She can talk her foolishness and she can go on like this and nothing can be done about it. What kind of craziness? I feel like we're the crazy ones for allowing this. That's what I think. She's sane and she's using us. And she is doing the most in this country to make us look like fools. Why are we permitting this? This woman has accepted that she will never work again in her life. And I don't know how old Lovell is, but she's not that old. So we got another probably 30, 40 years of taking care of her on NAU. Where is NAU? What are they doing other than paying her bills? She's able-bodied. Maybe they need to cut her off in terms of NAU too and make all that energy that she has, because I've witnessed this woman dance all friggin' day long. And I'm like, damn, if she has that kind of energy, what is stopping her? Really and truly from holding a job. She could go work a construction site with the kind of energy I see her going on with. Become a gym teacher. There's tons of options out there for you that will allow you to express yourself in certain ways. Maybe you can't do that at a construction site because the guys might, I don't know, maybe they don't enjoy it. I don't know. But girlfriend, please get it together. Somebody said that she actually caused her daughter to lose her job. Lovell, so you're not only ruining your own life, but as I said earlier, you're clearly not concerned or thinking about your children. So you're also ruining their lives. What a hot mess. Unbelievable. Hearsay says, don't think she's crazy at all. She can turn it off and on and be normal instantly. Overall, I think she's just mocking us here in the Cayman Islands. That's kind of my sentiment too. Like when I see her walking around, changing clothes and walking around perfectly fine. And you know what is so funny? She's able to actually fool people. They don't know that that's the same woman that was just out there in the government building. So they'll stop and give her a ride somewhere, that was me. I actually gave her a ride one day. This is before she started doing this. But I actually gave her a ride one day and I didn't realize who she was. And I lived to regret that because when she got in the car, she didn't want to get out. And then she started going on and on about Dr. Lockhart and the Bible verses and her church and calling down stuff on the government. And I was like, here I am trying to be a good Samaritan, and this is what I get. This is the very definition of no good deed goes unpunished. That's what I was thinking in my head. And thank God for Arnold Brooks. He's a police constable, as you know, not a constable, volunteer constable. What are they called again? But anyway, he saw the situation. And I think he recognized what was going on because she was literally in my car hitting my dashboard, like getting very leaning towards the violent side. Now I'm sitting there thinking, first of all, no good deed goes unpunished. Why did I give this woman a ride? And I will never give anybody a ride again. And after I passed that point in my thoughts, I then was like, oh, so now she's going to get crazy up in my car and start hitting the dashboard, whatever. I'm going to have to punch this woman in her friggin' head. And then I'm the one who's going to be arrested for assault. That was my next thought. I was like, here we go. Because after that, she probably going to want to get physical. I mean, God knows that on the end pretty. So thank God for Arnold. He was sitting there for quite some time, seeing me pulled in. I told her this as far as I could take her, get out. She didn't want to get out. And he came up and said, get moving, get out, do what you got to do. And I was like, oh, thank you, Jesus. That's what finally got her out of my car. Y'all don't pick this woman up. I'm telling y'all, you will live to regret it. Why is no one doing anything about this? She has rights. What about the rights of the rest of us? To not have to look at this woman. Lovell, do not message me this morning. I'm telling you. I saw your messages. I'm going to block you again. I don't know how you can get so many phones, but don't message me. Because I'm going to drop some words on you, which you've heard them all because you use them yourself. You go to her social media pages, a woman who claims she goes to church and loves God and loves the Bible. And she's written relationship books that she used to sell up in Foster's and all kind of foolishness. This woman has plenty sense when she's ready. And then you want to be messaging me about decency and decorum. You don't even know what those things mean, apparently. Shani says, wow, I definitely trust your intuition, especially since you've had communication with her. That absolutely makes things different. Apparently, when she had a man, she was seen. So what I'm thinking is, maybe the issue here is y'all need to try and find Lovell a man. Anybody out there? Some of y'all enjoy the crazy. We can arrange this. You know, we'll pay you to take her off the streets. That's what any of you maybe need to be paying. Have a man put up with her ridiculousness. Apparently, when she has a man, she's going to stay home and cook for him and be nice and don't go on crazy. This last episode, which started with her on Linford Pearson Highway with the tires and the wood and all kind of stuff, blocking and disrupting traffic, I understand that's because her man left her. Now, I don't know what the problem was. I don't know if there wasn't enough booty shaking or enough cooking or whatever went on in that relationship. But surely there's somebody out there that could help tame this beast. Cayman here say she's showing people how fool we are because nothing can be done, period. So she does whatever and nothing to be done, making a mockery. Isn't that disgusting? Marva says, I no longer think this is a damn joke. Lovella is not mental with that type of crazy. And if anyone think they can go to another country, I think she meant country, and behave in this manner onto the steps of a country's government doorsteps and carrying on in this manner, they should be beaten, arrested, and in some countries possibly killed. She's only seeking attention and is getting it in all the wrong ways. She needs a seasoned ass whooping. Now that's a Caymanian saying for you in case you missed it. With a piece of cow cod covered in cowwitch. Ooh, Marva. Damn, that's a different kind of beating. Cow cod with cow itch. That is some proper seasoning. Andrea says the whole world can see her ranting and skinning out in front of government building. This is disgusting. Gab needs back some sanity and respectability. And you know, it's so sad because all of the all of the security guards are standing there watching this as well. And they can't do nothing about her. Oh, we're not allowed to engage with her. Cayman here says make Dr. Lahi had still been around. Is he dead? I've heard of him often. He would have fixed her up real good. Well, I don't know what Dr. Lahi would have done to her, but something needs to be done. It really is disgusting. Jess says, Sandra, I agree with you 100%, and I make no apologies for that. She can turn the BS on when it suits her, and she's a national disgrace. It really, really is. And it is attention. That's she's looking for attention. So if she wants attention, Lovell, there are other things that you can do to get attention in a much better way. You claim you're a so-called Christian. You know, people love nothing better than a good Christian show. Do a podcast with a Christian show. Sit there and read the Bible and tell people how to live their lives. People love that. They'll put you up on a pedestal in 2 heartbeats, girl. You'll get lots of attention, lots of views, and maybe you can even make it into business. Cayman Princess, thank you. I think she does know better. This is what I'm wondering, Marva, because in my mind, there's more than one piece of law under the penal code that has been broken. Not indecent assault, although it was an assault on my poor eyes, right? But indecent exposure, I think is the term, the criminal terminology for it. She's committing an offense. The people in the past who've been arrested with all the G-string wear and all that kind of stuff, they weren't even doing this, and they were like, oh no, you can't wear that in our country. Really? But yet you allow this woman to put on the world's shortest shorts possible. I don't know where she get them from. And skin out in her country. Look, yeah. I mean, I want y'all to see it. Some of y'all are like, oh, Sandy, but she's still a woman. Why should you put it? That's exactly where y'all in the mess that you in now, talking foolishness to me on Facebook. I saw your comments. And I'm not even going to acknowledge your comments about, oh, she's still a woman and deserves some respect. Really? Are y'all crazy? Respect is something that is earned, in case you missed that memo. This woman has not earned my respect, and she will have zero of it. That's why y'all in the mess that you're in now. Oh, everybody got rights. Yes, everybody has rights, but everyone also has obligations. And when you don't have the decency to uphold the obligations as part of this community, and you want to go up there, purposely wear the shortest shorts and then pull them up your butt crack like this, and then y'all have the audacity to tell me I'm being mean to her and I must still, oh, she's a mother, she's a woman. Really? Tell that to her. Don't bring your foolishness to me, because y'all done know I ain't in the mood a lot of days, and today not one of them. I'm going to show you the picture, because this is what the government workers are being subjected to every single day. Where are the signs being hidden? You see, when she walk off, she don't have no signs. She fold them up nicely and put them in the bag. Really? Y'all allowing this? Don't come to me with no foolishness. I saw some of your comments, and I don't know who you people are, but you are clearly not living in the same world that I am. Now, if you're insulted by it, guess what? I don't care, quite frankly, right? I saw these comments. Oh, you shouldn't put her picture up there. Really? What? How about getting her some help rather than bashing her? What? Help has been offered to this woman, and she does not want the help. So we must not have this discussion in this community. She's going to hold us hostage where we can't even talk about it. We can't put her picture up and say enough is enough. Y'all must be crazy. This is a woman who feels entitled, right? She has lived a life, a very good life, on the backs of this country. And here we are being held hostage by her, and we will continue to pay her bills and everything else. You can imagine someone acting like this, and we're taking care of them. Where else in the world, like Marva said, would this be permitted? I know one thing. It wouldn't be her home country of Jamaica. They would throw her in jail and forget all about her. You guys remember, I think it was last year before, we showed you a guy that they found in his 80s who had died after being in jail forever. And they're like, oh, he was a mental health case. You think Jamaica cared? When he died, you could see the very ribs on the poor man. Obviously, he was not being taken care of in prison. I'm not saying to mistreat people, but what I'm saying is there's a reason why when she goes to Jamaica, she don't carry on like that. Because we're the fools, not her. We are the fools in this equation, and she's taken advantage of us. Andrea, in my opinion, there are all sorts of laws, really, that could be applied here. Lisa says, this was on Facebook. I started to comment earlier about the cruise shippers that would be half naked, walking around downtown drunk. And then I remembered Cayman and Badabanu. And then suddenly dancing nearly naked is a festival celebration. Riddle me that. This is not the same thing. Those people do not dance like that on the steps of our government building. They get permission, Lisa, for their parades. And they take a particular route. And yes, there are people who will look at what they do at these carnivals and say, ooh, that's lewd, or put on some clothes or whatever. But you know what is so interesting? The vast majority of people, and I mean 99% of the people that I've seen at Badabanu have on more clothes than Lovell. This is not what they're doing. And like I said, what some of you don't seem to know is this wasn't even the worst of it yesterday. Lovell was engaging in sexual acts with herself on the steps of her government building. And we're going to defend this foolishness talking about Badabanu? No. I cannot accept that kind of rhetoric. Y'all need to stop sugarcoating stuff in this community. And like the title of this show says, enough is enough. There comes a point in time, regardless of what her mental health state is or issues, this is not how you allow her to express herself. Marva says, no, Sandra, that's where you're wrong. Caymanians must now stand up. And I certainly will go out there and stand to say no more. We will not stand for no more of this behavior. That's interesting, Marva, because I wonder how many of you would be willing to go out there and protest against her. Could I get 5, 10, 15, 25 people? All the Christian community, by the way, who's always out there talking about the Bible and your homophobic ways, and you don't want the gay, lesbian, and LGBT, whatever community out there protesting. You're not protesting against this. Isn't that funny? One of your own church members out there doing this, and you're not got nothing to say about it. How many of you would join in a protest against Lovell? You just gave me an idea, Marva. Maybe that's exactly what we need to do. We need to show up at the government building peacefully, always. And we need to start praying, since she believes in the power of prayer, that she be delivered for whatever ails her. Y'all surround her with a wall of protests and prayer. I bet you then the police can show up. Some of these officers must be secretly enjoying what she's doing, making us look like fools. Dorothy, the woman family can't help her. Like somebody said, apparently, I mean, I don't know, but allegedly she's even caused her daughter to lose her job. They can't help her. They cannot help her. You know who can help her? The police or a mental health professional. She refuses to accept the help of a mental health professional. The police refuse to do anything about it, including Section 13ing her, whatever the heck it's called. And so it becomes this vicious cycle. The poor governor, he's just happy that he don't have to see it. At least he can drive around the back and he can go under and go up, and then he not gonna see it. But the rest of us have to see it. The poor lowly civil servants sitting there all day. The receptionists, security guards, planning reception area, lands and serving, any guests, because that's the main entrance to the government building. So any visitor to the government building has to be subjected to that. Come on now, y'all. Please help me understand this. Yeah, she's from Jamaica. That's no secret. Ms. Brenda says we've imported poverty. Well, we've imported way more than that. But you know what? Unfortunately, she's here now and she has status and she has Cayman children. So as much as we might want to get rid of her, I don't know how likely that is to happen unless she commits a criminal offense, which she has been detained and arrested a number of times, but I don't think they're actually charging her with anything. And people say, this is what someone just says on WhatsApp, yet they could send the entire Cayman Rat task force to arrest Elvis. Another person says Cayman is too passive. Someone just sipping their tea. Someone says if you change the law, just her, it would affect if you wanted to protest in general under certain law. But I mean, there has to be existing laws. They've sent a copy of Section 9 of the mental health. Is that the mental health law? Mental Health Act 2021 revision. So Section 9 says, when a person under an observation order, well, that's it. She's not under an observation order. Like, this is it. No one is doing all these things that are required to bring Lovell under control. Why? Well, let's talk about it, because I can tell y'all that there are certain people that are sick of this. So someone says, I was told that the governor has said to leave her be. Somebody else says she looks like she's in heat. Well, I don't know what it's all about, but this is disgusting. Let me tell y'all something. The whole situation is madness, to be honest. So here's what someone has sent. There are people who are having enough of this, elected officials. They don't want to be looking at this every day. So they have sent the following. I'm complaining to you as the governor, and I believe you have the means to put a stop to this. Hold on one second. The banner is cutting off the word there. Let me just take that off. To put a stop to this most disgraceful abomination against every form of decency and an insult to real demands of any kind of redress on a matter she might be upset about. Please, sir, don't take this as being rude to you. Something has to be done to stop this madness. Now, my sources indicated that this is actually McKeeva Bush, who is messaging the governor saying, do something about this. So apparently the governor responded and said, thank you. It has already been drawn to my attention. I fully agree that it is lewd and disgusting behavior and must be illegal in a public space. Really? Now y'all realizing this? The police commissioner's on it and will decide an action tomorrow, including seeking an injunction banning her from GAB and its surroundings. Wow, hallelujah. She needs mental health support, which we do not seem to have. That is a friggin' lie. Response from Mr. McKeeva says, thank you very much, sir, for your action. I shall have to make my constituents know of your action. We have a mental health law. Listen to me. Listen to me. I don't know who's telling the governor that we have no mental health support. That is not true. Now, y'all hear me and you hear me good. We don't have a dedicated mental health facility yet. We need to find out when that's going to be built. But does that mean that we have no mental health support? No, sir, that ain't true. That is not true. Y'all stop. Listen, Don't be getting me upset now, you know. Don't make Cayman look worse than it is. I will be the first to admit we're not perfect. We have our issues, blah, 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 but we have no mental health support. Come on. Every friggin' day, every week, you can go to mental health court. Mental health court is meeting again at, what day that is? Anyway, it can be, I think it's today at 2:00. You know, hold on one second. This is where you insult me with your lack of information, because when you say we have no mental health support in this country, that is actually an incorrect statement. It mightn't be the best. It mightn't be ideal. But y'all know what? We have a drug rehabilitation court. We have mental health court. Let me find the mental health court for today. Summary court. Today is the 6th, right? Yeah. All right. Hold on. Mental health court will be held this afternoon. Let me see who's holding it. Ooh, Brandon Beckett in court again today. Y'all. Ooh. Yes, we'll get to that one a little bit later on. That's not what I'm looking for, though. So let me go back to my emails. Mental health court. That's common assault. That's not the one I'm looking for. I know that there's mental health court today because when I was in court yesterday, they were talking about the fact that that little fella there, he's going to be mental health court today. Traffic. Where's the mental health court list? They have it. And there's lots of people on the list, I can assure you of that. Let me see if this is it. Normally it's Chief Magistrate, what's his name? Foldats, who deals with all the mental health stuff. So I'm not seeing the list. I'm actually going to request it because it should have been received already today. And I'm not seeing it. So let me, Suzanne Bothwell, let me send them an email. Because I'm going to show you all that we have a mental health system in place. And the court is working with the Department of, what do they call, counseling services or whatever. They are doing a lot to assist people with issues. Okay? So don't say that we have nothing in place, because that is a false statement. Let me see now. Where is All right, let me send them a quick little email here. And, you know, the list is a matter of public record, folks. It's nothing that it's not like we're requesting something that should not be given to us. It is a matter of public record. But there is a process. There are professionals. If you don't like Dr. Lockhart, the HSA has professionals. We all need mental health support at some point in our lives. Sometimes we go through a very traumatic situation, breakup of relationships, issues with children, whatever. Resources are available to you. If there's one thing that NAU should be willing to pay for through Cineco, it's definitely mental health care. So do not say that we have no mental health support. We don't have a dedicated facility, but the HSA has a mental health ward. Some of y'all have been on it, so you should know. Okay, let me be very frank here. Do you think that we don't have the best? You know who has the best? Jamaica. Jamaica has, I'm being half facetious here, but follow me. Jamaica has drug rehabilitation programs. They have juvenile programs that we have sent our children to before. So why can't we send her, a Jamaican national, back to Jamaica for mental health care? Since we have no mental health support in the Cayman Islands. And there have been people that we have done this to born, bred, multi-generational Caymanians. Remember the little guy who used to sit out by the government, by the courthouse, defecating on himself and going on? You guys notice that he has disappeared? Have y'all ever wondered where the man gone, or y'all not worried? You see, this is an inconvenient truth, right? Out of sight, out of mind. I bet you most of you haven't even thought about this guy because he's no longer out there being an embarrassment. Tourists are no longer seeing him peeing all over himself and blah, blah, blah. His family's glad to be rid of him. You know where the man gone? Jamaica. So we can send our own that were born on this soil to Jamaica for mental health care and support. And we can't pick up Lovell and send her, who's actually from Jamaica. Y'all have it make sense. What's going on here? Huh? And he definitely had mental health issues and no capacity to care for himself. The government of the Cayman Islands, I don't know what we're paying for that, but I'm sure it's a pretty sum. Because anytime we contact Jamaica, they're like, oh, Cayman will use our services. Yeah, we're going to charge you top dollar. Believe me, folks, he is there. And he's getting the help that he needs. Ship Lovell on the next flight, please. It can be arranged. Nona says she knows that the government isn't going to do anything. She's seen enough to have that figured out, to have them figured out. What a mess. Unbelievable. Sure, Rainbow, good morning. She says about go down by Swamp Sandy, I love you before and after that statement. My love for you is no longer there. I'm sorry. No. My point is she go down by Swamp. Y'all gonna know what to do with her. You think she'd be protesting in Dog City, Swamp, or these places with some real hardcore Caymanians? They would pelt her one coconut so quick that it wouldn't end well. Let's just put it that way. That was my point. I'm not trying to say that people who live down in Swamp deserve her behavior, because nobody deserves this. Trust me. This would be punishment. Like if you were in some if you were actually in some communist country or something, this would be a form of torture to have this woman dancing and gyrating. Like if they wanted to, like, you know, say you murdered somebody or whatever, all they had to do was bring in Lovell. You'd be so tortured, you'd probably jump off a building. Oh, God. The poor headache I have, which is being caused by a pinched nerve in the back of my neck, has now moved to the front, and it's a headache of just stupidity and ridiculousness that is going on in this country that we are permitting. You know, this is really what it is. So NAU is quick to help her with her fakeness, but the ones who's really mental, sick, and in need, it's a forever process. Sickens me. Well, she must be sane enough to fill out all that NAU paperwork. That's all I can tell you. Now, some of y'all, I'm glad Alice has said this, because some of y'all blaming Wayne Panton for this. Y'all are stupid. The people, when I say y'all, you know who I'm talking about. Those of you who are blaming Wayne Panton for this. What does Wayne Panton have to do with this? Or if that was Alden what would Alden have done? Alden would have done nothing, because she was out there when he was in office too. Y'all have such short memories. What is wrong with you people? Oh, Alden. She was at the governor's residence and carrying on. Alden and his government wasn't doing nothing about her either. So let's not have the issues here blurred. Right? Let's not talk about that. This has nothing to do with PAC or progressives. None of them seem to be able to do anything about her. Carmelie says, I talked to her yesterday and she slapped me. And what did you do, Carmelie? Because I know, y'all know Carmely, my sister, and she not got no sense. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. You slap her, she gonna box you down. So now up in her older age, she might be settling down a little bit. So she slapped you and you did what? Because if this was Carmely 5-10 years ago, she would have been flat on the ground having an ambulance called for her. I guess some people can change a little bit, child. Because I not hear Carmely been arrested yet. Carmely, like, is that trying to go? I'm trying to go to the United States. I don't need no charges. Child. Wow. You see, this is why I don't even want to engage with this woman, because I do feel like she's that type of person. And, you know, I would be, I would have to defend myself. Like, no one has a right to slap you or to touch you or, you know. No, honey child. And I've told y'all already, I'm not about that criminal life. I'm not really, yeah, Marshall. I didn't realize it was like, I'd heard about this woman and whatever. And what happened is I was actually passing customs. And from the time I saw the outfit, because she likes to wear for a church woman, she really likes to wear these shorty things, right? So from the time I saw it, but I'd gone into the Cayman Airways cargo office to send something to the BRAC. I was getting back in my car. She's like, oh, I need a ride. And I said, miss, I said, to be honest, I'm not even going far. Like, I was just going to the dental office there in Alexandria Place. And she's like, no. You know, that's fine. I'll take a ride. And it was like in a split moment. And I didn't realize who she was till she got in the car. And then I was like, I was literally in my head, like kicking myself. I'm like, how the hell did you pick this one up? Carmely must have found Jesus, child. Carmely says, I forgive her. My life is different now. Well, if any, what? Well, folks, this is proof positive. Lovella, you can change too, because if Carmely can forgive you, girl, you're doing really well. You're lucky. Shireen said I would still be out there beating her. No, sir. Marshall says she goes to church, but she's actually worshiping the devil. I don't know who she's worshiping, but it's not the God that we read about in the Bible, because he wouldn't be, under no circumstances would he be putting up with this kind of foolishness. Tamara says, only Cayman can she keep up this BS. Miss Esme, good morning, says one more marriage of convenience may not hurt, as there are many and nothing has been done about them. So you're thinking, I know my messages are behind, so this must have been when I was saying find our man. Someone as me says, you know, let's pay the man. Yes. Benji, good morning. Atlas, good morning. Yeah, man, we have to do something about this. All right, Jared, are you ready? You look like you're frozen up a little bit there. She wants to go home. Wait a minute. Back it up. Yvette says she wants to go home, but the government didn't approve it. So this is which government? Our government? What are you saying to me, Yvette? She wants to go home. We will expedite the what's the problem? Why wouldn't they approve for her to go? We can't stop her from leaving. She has a passport. She can travel. She can go anywhere she wants. I don't think she has a police record, so I'm sure she can get a police. Well, she don't need a police record. She's Jamaican, so she must have a Jamaican passport or the ability to go back with ease. No, man, that don't make no sense. Who is not? I need some details on that. Who is stopping her? Because I personally will pay for her ticket to go to Jamaica. Which bill can I skirt on this month? I better not skirt on CUC, because you know they ain't gonna click. They shut the lights off. We're not gonna have a show. But there has to be, Yvette, if that is true, every one of you, 369 of you on here right now, we can put in $1 each. That's 369. It got up to $370. That's an airline ticket to Jamaica and then some, at least a bag. We'll arrange for her to go. That can't be straight. Evelyn says she's a mother. Shouldn't be out there. Yes, child. She got several children. Good morning, El Ray. He says, you tell him, Sandy. I'm so sick of this foolishness. Jared, are you ready?
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. How are you?
Child, I'm right here watching the madness.
Yes.
I'm wondering
yes.
what on earth.
I know everybody seems to be heated over it. It's understandable. But we do have to have a certain level of care for our for our population, people with behavioral health issues. But it is a bit questionable as to why little to no action has been done. In particular regarding.
Oh, listen, what do you think about this protest idea? A lot of people said that they would be in. So they were
What?
going to stand up in front of her and protest against this behavior. Maybe then the government will do something.
Well, government is paying people salaries to figure out people's issues. I think if there was a collaborative approach by needs assessment unit, the Department of Behavioral Health now, well, Department of Mental Health now Behavioral Health, and the court, that would help. That would help really and truly. But we are in a pandemic, so everyone is a bit triggered, understandably. Everybody is a bit tired, and so I know we all might be tense.
I'm tired of her before the pandemic, so I don't want to blame the pandemic.
But no, I'm just saying the pandemic is contributing to just people just want space, and so if someone is pretty much infringing on the overall space, meaning you go to government building, you want to have a good experience, you don't want to have to see somebody, right? So when you're in a pandemic and you have to see somebody that you don't want to see, it contributes to bad experience, is what I'm saying. But I am sure that the government agencies are aware of the situation, but it it's concerning in that the person might have been seen by the government agency, but has just been left back out to the public.
Jared, I want you to keep talking. I'm going to come back in a bit. I'm going to grab my notebook, okay?
Yeah, so I would say it is a bit concerning if the person has already been seen by a government agency, but nothing has been done either to mitigate the issues that she's going through. I know it probably has to do with the Mental Health Act and probably Section 9 of the Mental Health Act and what it pertains to as how much can be done. Because if the law only says that, okay, you only can keep somebody for, let's say, 24 to 48 hours, then there really isn't anything one can do. And you can't hold her against her will, pretty much, which is that if she needs services, but she herself doesn't want to take the service, we can't take the approach of like, well, we're going to force you to take this, because then that is what used to happen to people in that they'd put people with behavioral health issues or people with exceptionalities in an asylum and coat them up with drugs. So we have to be very careful on how we come across, sorry. But I know this shouldn't be something that is happening at the end of the day, and I know everybody is a bit frustrated because she was at the governor's house, I think a year and a half ago, doing all of that, and so now she's come back up, and it just seems to be a hot mess in of itself. But hopefully with the mental health facility coming up, it provides an option in regards to support. What I will say is that Ms. Sandy, when it comes to coverage for insurance on behavioral health services, I to my knowledge, allegedly, from what I know, it is not necessarily covered, meaning the insurance companies don't want to cover it. If they do cover it, they question the employee to the point where it's they're asking very personal information. So to be honest, the Mental Health Act does not facilitate the coverage of people who need coverage when they go to seek services, and it does not protect those who need the service but refuse it. So the question is, it's going to revert back to the government. Why hasn't there been an applicable act put in place to deal with people with behavioral issues, as it is a wide spectrum at the end of the day. But in this case, where we evidently see that this is someone that has an issue of some form, or it has been declared that there has been an issue, because she has quoted a particular practitioner, but it's one that has to be handled with a little bit of care at the end of the day. But I would say this might be a situation of the one bad apple making it look bad for the rest of the good apples at the end of the day. And so, yeah, I'm surprised that.
Well, what about Miss Brenda's point? She says, mark my word, this situation is going to end tragically. When you ignore these people or situations, they manifest. Remember the woman who's now serving a life sentence because her behavior was ignored. Look how that turned out. And this is the thing about it that I think people are not recognizing, the fact that her behavior is escalating.
It is escalated, Miss Sander, but there's something that has not escalated. The amount of staff that are at the mental health department, the resources are scarce and limited. But in terms of people understanding what is it that behavioral health department does at HSA, people don't understand what it is that is done, in that they don't know that having counselors, having psychologists, and when I mean counselors, I'm talking about psychotherapists, not counselors at high schools, psychiatrists. Now, the thing is, if you're dealing with a 60,000 population, Ms. Sandy, and let's say on average, you're probably seeing more or less 100 patients a month. For a psychiatrist, that's a lot, because you have to do reports. And these are reports that are coming from the courts. And so there is a backlog that is going on. So what I'm saying is that her situation probably is in a pipeline, but because of the backlog and lack of staffing at the behavioral health department, it could be a contributing factor as to why little to anything is done. But that is my opinion, allegedly. But like I said, employers don't want to pay, or insurance companies don't want to pay for people who go to seek support at the behavioral
But that's
health
private
department.
insurance. NAU pays for everything, child, once you have cynical.
But yeah, but that's cynical. But what I'm saying is that you can't just fix one issue and expect that an array of other issues won't come into it. But yes, her actions seem to have been elevated, and the thing is, she has not committed any offense, really and truly.
I beg to differ.
Until yesterday.
I beg to differ.
Until
that
yesterday.
Even her behavior before was an offense.
Well, no, the thing is, what I'm saying is that it was always allegedly indecent exposure or harassment going on. Because to be honest, if you're going to go in front of the governor's house and put up signs, and it is kind of declaring a certain level of animosity towards, I would say, the UK by doing that. And it is provoking, right? Diplomatically, it is provoking. And so the restraint that His Excellency the Governor has shown is really good, because I don't know if previous governors would have accepted that. They probably would have put her somewhere and throw away the key. But the harassment is there. Yes, she is harassing people. I think with the incident yesterday, that was indecent exposure. She could have exposed herself to a minor, which you should not do at any point under the law. So I don't know why the DPP isn't coming up with some charges and talking to the mental health court to say, okay, listen, we can't have this going on. It's either we sit down and say these are the options that she has, or an order by cabinet can be done. The
bottom line is we need to do something. We cannot continue to allow this woman to go out there every day doing this sort of stuff.
Because she's been out there every day, like since January.
This is, the new year, she's come with a vengeance, but this is ridiculous.
And the police hasn't said, has the no inspector.
Jared, you've been listening to me this morning. I'm saying enough is enough. The people that came out have had enough. Yeah.
Well, to answer that person about animosity, the governor is the representative of the UK in Cayman. If you're going to go on the governor's or government house area and put signs up, the UK could actually take it as a way of, this is showing something. You know what I mean? So I know some people may not understand it, but it might have been a strong word to use animosity. But the governor is supposed to live in his place freely.
Has a question. She says, is she still grieving over the death of her mother? When did the mother die, Gabby? Okay, this has been going on for years now. This is a woman who had to be banned from the Cayman Airways office. It's like Gabby says she doesn't know, she's asking the backstory. It seems a lot of people don't really know the real story. And I've invited Lovell in the program before to tell us her story. Let us hear from your own mouth what the issue is. Tell us how we can help you, because we want you to stop this nonsense. But she has been in the Cayman Airways office. The Cayman Airways staff will tell you she's gone on so ridiculous up in there. And this was years ago that they had to ban her from coming up in there, because when she went up in there demanding a ticket and a seat and a this and that, they didn't treat her with royalty and how she thought she should be treated. And they don't allow her to come in there harassing and threatening their staff. And so they've had to ban her from there. So,
but because
I don't know when the mother died. Did the mother die 50 years ago?
But I don't.
Enough with the excuses. Like, everyone is looking for an excuse.
Yeah.
To engage in bad behavior, and I personally am just sick and tired of it.
Yeah.
Jared, you don't think that I could have an excuse and a life story to go out there and do what this woman is doing?
I think
if you sit down and talk to people, you do not know their stories. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know their trauma. Lovell is not the only person who's had a rough life, if that's what she thinks it is.
No, it's true. But, the thing with people with behavioral health issues is that as normal people, or what we would describe ourselves as normal people, we can handle our emotions a lot better.
No, none of us are normal.
And I think people who exhibit...
Jared, we're not normal. We all need help.
We do.
There's times that everybody needs support. Anybody can crack.
No, that is true.
You know what I'm saying? You see normal people walking around, they have a lot of baggage. They have a lot of issues.
That's true.
You get help. When she was offered help and given a diagnosis, now I don't know nothing about Dr. Lockhart and her relationship, but from what she's told me, this came out of her own mouth. The reason why she says that he tried to kill her is because he has diagnosed her as being some kind of, I don't know exactly what the diagnosis is, some kind of schizophrenic, whatever, with religious delusions or whatever. And she said to me out of her own mouth, that is a death sentence to me. Because of how people can look at me. No, girlfriend, that wasn't a death sentence, because nobody would have known your business. First of all, the death sentence is you getting up and parading yourself like this, because nobody in this community wants anything to do with you. That's how you alienate yourself in a community this size. I don't know what Dr. Lockhart told her. She told me that herself. Now, I'll take her word for it. I guess she should know. I don't know. And, that's going to follow all of her children and multi-generation. Girlfriend, what is going to follow your children is your behavior right now. The fact that you're going on acting a fool and getting your daughter fired from her job. Wasn't the daughter taking care of the son that this one can't take care of? And now she has no job because of the mother? Miss Brenda has a right to remind us of the other mother who is in Northward serving a life sentence for killing her 5-6-year-old child because she was exhibiting crazy behavior, and y'all sat back and ignored her. Ignoring this isn't the solution. That's one thing I know. Now, you all may not like what I've had to say about Lovell this morning and my stance on this, but the bottom line is allowing her to continue, allowing this to escalate, ignoring her is not the solution. She doesn't want help. The government seems like the existing laws that they have in place will not allow them to force her, because there is that provision in the Mental Health Act. They don't want to institute that. They don't want to force her to get help. So what is the solution? Let it escalate. How far? Carmelie says she assaulted her yesterday. She slapped her. She's lucky it's Carmelie this time. No. Let me rephrase that. She's lucky it's the new reformed Carmelie who's willing to make that pass. El Rey says, yep, no more kitty gloves in this situation. Real steps have to be taken to sort it out. She knows what she's doing in playing us. Good morning, it's Marva. Is that your alarm clock, or that's what you have for phone calls?
No, that's my alarm clock. Sorry about that. Sorry, people take it as an evacuation thing.
Marva says we have our own Caymanians walk in the street. We look down on them, but do they respect our MPs on our government, or do they disrespect our MPs in our government building? Nope. They lock them away, send them to Jamaica. Why can't they do the same with her? Like I said, let us accept that we have limited resources here. We can send people overseas. We've done it before.
Sandy, you gotta be careful about that. You know, that costs money. That be costing the government money, sending people overseas. Really? I know I've been devil advocate today.
But you think the money here is the issue?
Yes.
I would pay a prime dollar. Somebody said when I was mentioning about an airline ticket, somebody said they would donate $5 instead of the $1.
Yeah, I think then they need to start looking at something for her, a plan of action. Because either she's gonna do something and she's gonna buck up on the right person who is going to give a outcome which isn't gonna be good. And usually, because this is how government operates. Government is usually slow, right? Because they have the bureaucratic processes and procedures and technocrats to look and consult. I would like to ask what the Human Rights Commission would want us to do in a situation like this, because I'm quite surprised that they're not saying, oh, well, you know, because this could be a human rights issue as well. So, and I only bring that up to say every Caymanian has a right to protest. Now,
yes,
the way in which they protest,
yes.
that
and
that is a different
permission to protest.
That is a different thing. So I think RCIPS could say failure to provide proof of documentation to a protest, indecent exposure to the public, harassment, possible indecent exposure to a minor because videos were taken and you don't know who see it. Those are 4 charges at least, but I'm sure. Well, to be honest, I don't know if holding her in a cell would be meaningful for her as well. So it's either the professionals are gonna have to really think about it and try to create a solution for her, because clearly she's not of the capacity to do things, but she is showing that she can. But she could really and truly be just mirroring, meaning, you know what I mean?
Ciao. I'm just, I don't know what to say. I honestly do not know what to say. I'm at a loss, really.
Well, I'm sure people call the Minister of Health. You know, that's an option too, people. I'm sure if you all call the Minister of Health and say,
what's Sabrina gonna do for her?
Well, as the Minister of Health, she has the overriding objective to really direct what happens with the ministry. So if the Honorable Minister Sabrina Turner said, oh, you know, we need to take care of our people with behavioral health issues. No ifs, ands, or buts, or have a policy. You don't need to have necessarily a law, but a policy directed at HSA to say, what are we doing for people with behavioral health issues who are showing signs which are beyond the norm, and how are we taking care of them? I'm sure the Minister of Health can do that.
Well, I'm sure those things are already in place. This is about This isn't about having an overall mental health policy.
Mm-hmm.
This is about dealing with a very specific individual who no one seems to want to deal with.
Well,
that's my point.
To be honest, I don't wrong them. I don't wrong them because it just seems very complicated.
Marva says, I don't know who this young man is, but obviously he's not sat and talked with Lovell and her delusions. Personally, I encourage you to stay away from her. Lovell personally told me that CIG will make her a millionaire because of the lawsuit she has against them. And this was from 2018. She told me all the same thing that Sandra is saying. Jackie wants to know, do we have a public nuisance law? I'm sure we do.
Yes, we have a music law.
Never enforced, but we do. Well, what are you going to do? Shoot her, Cayman, don't care. It's not that complicated. I'm not sure I understand that point at all. No one is suggesting that, but we have options to send her back. Tanisha says, well, that explains her behavior. She has schizophrenia. Most people, especially in a small country, don't want to accept or come to terms that they have mental health issues. Yeah, well, she's not accepting. And I'm not going to say that Dr. Lockhart's diagnosis was wrong. I mean, he would obviously have spent a substantial amount of time with her. She has a green card. So why isn't this America's problem? Oh, they would sort out the situation as well. Chantal says she's not taking her meds. They won't take the meds because it's poison to them, and she needs to be locked. She needs to be locked in a locked unit. On their own, they will never take the meds. And this is part of the problem. Someone mentioned Quincy earlier, and Quincy has been somewhat open and transparent with his mental health and drug addiction problems. Quincy's now back on island, and unfortunately his trip to Jamaica for him was unsuccessful. And so he continues to struggle, right? But you have to recognize that either you're going to be locking these people away, as Chantal has said, and forcing them to take medication, or they have to be willing to take the medication themselves. That's the two options, really. You can't allow a person with mental health issues to be a danger to society. And I think that is the point at which we are now, where, we are at that point. So, it is what it is. My apologies for the delayed messages. So listen, folks, we do have other topics that we want to talk about. I was getting my notebook this morning. El Rey says she needs to be banned from all government properties unless she's there to request or conduct services. I think that is the angle from which you approach this. You do not allow her to access those government buildings. She can go elsewhere, like I said, and protest. My apologies for the residents and good people of Swamp, implying that they deserve her protesting, because clearly that is not the case. But the point that I was trying to make is she can be stopped from protesting by the governor's residents and any property the government owns, just like Cayman Airways has now blocked her from, or prohibited her from coming to their property. It can be done. Simple as that. She has a right to protest, but she can't protest in any way that she feels like. Okay, let's move on, folks. Jared, are you going to stick around for the rest of the discussion?
I'll stick around. Yeah.
All right, so folks, I was in court yesterday. I'm gonna pull you out, Jared, for just a second. I was in court yesterday, and I know members of the Filipino community are anxious for my update. So let me pull out. I feel like this is my little black book, but it's actually blue. I love me a good notebook, most of the time, folks, we don't do any writing. We're all, I'm a computer person myself, but yesterday I realized that I hadn't even used a laptop over the holidays, really, because I was home. And so the laptop was dead when I went to court, and I had to handwrite my notes. And child, this reminded me a little bit of law school before I decided to take my notes electronically. Thank you, Shannon. She says, I love your show. I'll definitely be back. Have a fantastic day. I appreciate that. So I've had to write out my little notes about Miss Irene Garcia. Look at my hot mess. Oh gosh, stop falling out my notebook. Oh my goodness. I got all kinds of little papers in here. But look at my hot mess of notes, child, because then I forget something, and then I got to come back and add a little something over on this side. And then because I didn't put the full name of the company, I'm like, oh, make sure I get that right when I write my story. And then I go on to page 2, and I'm breaking down the culpability, the category of offenses. Y'all see, note taking is important. You know, you want to get the story straight. So I actually went into 2.5 pages, a little less than half a page, for my notes from Miss Irene Garcia. So let me break it down for y'all. Irene Garcia is a thief. Let us start there. Okay? And she would steal the panties off your granny. So when she shows up in court with her crocodile tears, I feel sorry for her victims. So in 10 months, she raked up 4 victims. And trust me, if she had more time and more resources, there would have been more. So her excuse, and she has a defense lawyer who basically accepted everything the prosecution had to say. Except, feel sorry for her because now she's so remorseful. She's been ostracized in the Filipino community. Well, what do you expect, girl? You stole from your own people. Maybe people in the Filipino community would feel different if you were stealing from somebody else, but you're stealing from them. And you know how difficult it is for someone from the Philippines to come from halfway around the world, take a job here. They're sending back a large portion of the money to try to support people back home. And you, through this travel agency, global travel consulting agency, take advantage of them. This is just wrong on so many different levels, child. I was sitting there listening to details, which you guys might remember. We had some of her victims on our show. Remember when we had them on? And they were talking about Irene Garcia. Go back and look it up. So what she was doing was she was actually working for this travel consulting agency, booking travel for people when either there was not a flight that existed, or she would book a legitimate flight and then cancel it and take these people money. And she was, Ellery, and she was using the money to live her lifestyle. Oh, she had bills to pay, she says. Really? Don't we all? That doesn't give you a right to go steal from people. Oh, you know, tough times. The judge said, well, why didn't she just go back home? There's a lot of people who the pandemic impacted their jobs. Obviously, travel was came to halt. So there were travel agencies that had been around for years that decided to let people go, shut down literally bare bones operation, right? Because they had to. Airlines weren't working, yada, yada, yada. So why didn't she go home? Oh, no, child. Not only does she not go home, there's 4 counts of theft here, amounting to $9,610. She paid back one lady $1,000. The other one, despite promises to pay them back, she hasn't bothered to pay them back. Now, here's the interesting thing about Irene. I was looking at Irene yesterday. Her employer showed up to court, trying to apparently have an audience with the court, which the court doesn't allow that sort of stuff. But through her lawyer, the employer explained, or, you know, she explained as part of her defense, that her employer is willing to hire her back as though that's going to impact the judge's sentencing. The judge was like, okay, and you do know she pled guilty to stealing from 4 people. The fact that your employer is silly enough, and I'm going to talk about that here in a second, to want to hire you back has no bearing on what the court is going to sentence her to. That's a matter for immigration. But you have to recognize that if she's convicted to custodial sentence, she won't be getting no clean police record to be able to get a work permit to be hired back. So I don't know. I sat there thinking to myself, who is more delusional, her or the employer? And I didn't know who the woman was at first, that then was identified as the employer. But she was up in court like giving me an eye. Woman, take several seats. You are what we call in the real world an enabler. This woman has stolen from people using your business. When we contacted you, when we were doing the story, you claimed that, oh, well, you didn't know anything about it and you don't want any part of it and blah, blah, blah. And then you guys sit up in court talking about you're going to rehire her. Where's the sympathy for the victims through your company? Oh, you said, oh, she was on a frolic of your own. So you're going to turn around and rehire her. Let me try and understand this, right? You're going to rehire her in your, what's the business that she has? She's going to rehire her. Let me look at my notes now. Some kind of cleaning agency or something. I did write it down somewhere here. So yeah, she's going to rehire her to work in her janitorial business. A person who stole in your global travel consultant agency, you're going to turn around and put them in somebody's private business or home as part of your janitorial service, and you think that that person can be trusted? Oh, because her employer believes in giving second chances. Okay. She's going to jail. The judge said she wanted to consider what the argument she heard yesterday and render her decision on January the 26th. She's going to jail. Irene, get your affairs in order. Pack up your little suitcase in your apartment. Give your landlord notice from now because you're going to jail. And after jail works, prepare the deportation order. This woman, y'all, stole from vulnerable people in her community. Now, let me tell y'all something about the Filipino community that you may not know. They are a very tight-knit community, and sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes it allows things to be hidden. So when people going on with their bad behavior and their shenanigans in the Filipino community, because they don't want to put out the reputation out there that they have criminals and they have thieves in their community, just like everybody else, they will hide that sort of stuff. Like, oh, let's not talk about it. Don't go to Cayman Mall Road. The ones that have come to me have been lambasted for coming and exposing the dirty truth. And it's really, really sad because by hiding this behavior, folks, you don't address it. The behavior gets no better. And that's the problem. But you know what? Those people said, we're tired of being taken advantage of by our own people. And then not being able to speak on it, not going to the police. Well, at least 4 of her victims decided to go to the police. Victim number 1, she stole $1,800 from 2 tickets issued with an airline back in November of 2020. This was during the pandemic, as you guys will recall. The woman called on November the 1st to check about the flight on the 3rd. And it was only when she contacted Irene that she was told, oh, yeah, oh, sorry, you know, the flight has been canceled. There's going to be no flight, blah, blah, blah. Come to find out, this woman was issuing fake tickets. Even the judge was like, how is she allowed to do this? What kind of system was she using? How was this possible? Well, Irene is such a thief and such a fraudster that not only was she issuing fake tickets and all this sort of stuff, fake itineraries. Victim number 2, $5,035. Now, y'all know it's hard during a pandemic for someone who's probably making minimum wage to part with $5,035. Some of the victims had to borrow money from the very family in the Philippines that they're trying to help to be able to purchase these tickets to return home. And she put them in a predicament where they were stuck here in the Cayman Islands thinking that they were going back home. And then lo and behold, oh, yes. Oh, yeah. You know, JFK airport was actually shut down. So there was no flights going to JFK. This is the foolishness that she's going on with. By the way, I've received your messages about Air Canada. This is a bit of misinformation, but I've got Renee on it. So she's going to go ahead and correct that story. So it looks like there's been a snafu, folks. So let me just get her to fix this immediately. All right. So yes, that's a bit of an issue. Thank you so much, folks, for letting me know that. Yeah, she's already apparently fixing it. Okay. So yeah, so this woman was doing the most. What's going on with YouTube today? I'm telling you, I'm getting a lot of spammers recently. Anyway, y'all will be blocked, so you're wasting your time. All right. So victim number 2 received 2 tickets, blah, 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 fake tickets. Victim number 3, a construction helper, paid over $1,300 again, was promised a refund in 2 weeks. Not getting a dime back. Victim number 4 is a landscape gardener, paid over $1,400, almost $1,500 for ticket. Completely false. And you know what she did with victim number 4? She told the victim she's waiting on some money. The company had to approve it, yada, yada, yada. She's waiting on some money to do the refund. Then she sends this victim a screenshot saying, oh, your refund has been done. The deposit was taken care of. And here's your proof of that. Here's a screenshot. Now, I don't know how she screenshot a bank deposit that actually never happened, but that's exactly what she did. The person even went into the bank telling the bank, probably CNB, because they got the best online system, y'all got it wrong. Here's the proof. This woman sent me a screenshot. Where's my money? And the banker's like, don't know how she got a screenshot, but nope. She didn't refund your money. She's a fraudster. She's creating false documents. So the prosecution said this is the highest degree of culpability, category A, because of the victims that she decided to choose, the sophistication of the methods that she used. One second, folks. Give me 1 second here. Y'all know I'm wearing more than one hat. And the defense pretty much agreed with the prosecution. It was a very interesting case because I think the defense realized that there is no defense to what she was doing. And so basically, all they could say, folks, is, at the end of the day, she's very, very remorseful. She's sitting in court crying out her eyes. She's another one that should get an Emmy Award for Best Actress of the Day in court, crying. And, when she went to, what did they say? When she went to counseling services for her victim impact, for the assessment report. She was crying for 2 hours and I had to console her for 2 hours. But the judge is like, yes, but this is all of her own doing. How sympathetic should the court be now that you're remorseful and you're crying and blah, 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 when in fact, this is all your own doing. The court is not going to be sympathetic towards her. So we don't know how much jail time she's getting, but she's definitely going to jail. The interesting thing is when I see people in court, I make a lot of observations about them, right? So I was sitting there watching her and I was watching the convenient waterworks at certain times and whatever. And I'm not saying necessarily that she might not be remorseful now that she's been caught. But I'm also looking at a woman who's talking about she is struggling to pay her bills, but yet she's trying to project a certain image in court. Everything she had on her was designer wannabe. Now, I don't think for 1 minute that any of it's real, but maybe stealing money from people, maybe she was wearing the real deal. She had on a Gucci belt, Louis Vuitton handbag. Now, I knew that was fake. I could tell that was a fake. And shoes, white shoes with the Chanel logo. Jared, why are you trying to front if you just stole all this money from people? You guys show up to court in designer wannabe fake stuff, likely. But nonetheless, why are you even showing up to court like that? If I'm making that observation, I don't know how well Magistrate Philippa McFarland can see. I had to get my glasses sorted out this year to be able to see properly. But child, I took them off for a minute and she was looking fuzzy and I put them right back on. And I was like, ooh, honey child, why are you wearing all this designer stuff? Who are you trying to impress? You're about to go to jail. You ain't got to impress nobody up at Fairbanks because they're going to just be touching your hair and braiding it for you. You don't want to probably impress anybody in Fairbanks because the result might not be what you're looking for. What do you think, right? When you see somebody walk in, you're being accused of stealing from people who really couldn't afford to give you this hard-earned money, but they found a way, beg it from friends, saved up for it, whatever they had to do to try to go back home. In one instance, some people were coming here. It impacted their work permits. And also, this has had real damage to people's lives. And you show up to court looking all pretty, with your hair nicely done, your little clips in your hair, and wearing all of this designer fake Louis Vuitton handbag, and got some fool from Georgetown look like Miss Brown, where her name is? Paula Brown, talking about she gonna take out a permit for you and she has forgiven you. It's so funny that Paula Brown can forgive you because not only have you only paid back $800 to one victim, $1,000 to one victim, you still owe her $800, but all the other victims have not even received $1 in compensation. If your employer was a right-thinking individual, they would have stepped forward and say, you know what, I'm going to help you repay this debt. Oh, since we believe in you and we want to give you second chances, great. You know who you need to have consideration for? Not her who made the decision to steal from people, but the victims. Pay back the victims. So I know the court will make a compensation order. I don't know how she's going to pay it back. Her lawyer claims that she's trying to sell property in the Philippines. I'm like, hold on. You got property to sell in the Philippines and you still stealing from people? You're not easy. Jared, what's your take on this hot mess? Nope, your mic is off. You muted yourself.
Oh, sorry. They have I don't know if I can use the word. I might get in trouble if I use the word. But like, people who always try to act like, they got fancy things, but they come from a certain social strata. I think they call it in Jamaica they use it as I think it's ghetto fabulous.
Yes, so dear child. We say them all the time.
So I think she was trying a ghetto fabulous moment. And so we hope the justice gives a ghetto fabulous sentence.
Oh, yes. And Magdalene has a very good memory. Magdalene says, wasn't she enjoying some high life at brunch and expensive? Yes, this is the same one. I need to go back and find those pictures. But this is the exact same Irene Garcia who was out there brunching and everything. Some of y'all be brunching like nobody's business. Brunch not cheap. And yes, she could afford. Oh, yes, here she is. See the story here. Jared, let me know when you're back and I'll bring you back on. Here she is. Thank God for Google search. There she is. Enjoying a nice meal at the expense of other people. Had braces on. I think the braces might be off now. Jewelry. The woman don't look like she's hurting for no money. And if you are hurting for money, this is what you don't do. You don't steal from people to then be able to support your own lifestyle. This isn't someone who is like on their last dollar and is about to get kicked out of their apartment. And this is a situation where, oh my God, I can't eat tomorrow. That's not the situation. This girl's living a good life. Liasa says she's very skilled and should do positive things instead. I agree. She's remorseful now that she's been caught. Damien, having a good little laugh. Marshall says she's going to go to prison in style and fashion. Sure. Lazara says, Sandra, you don't understand. Irene wants to go to jail in style. Oh, well, in that case, then, all right. They will be accommodating her, no doubt. No, they're not related. She's a Filipino lady. The employer, like I said, her name is Paula Brown. She looks like she's probably just an average Black Georgetowner. That's the only way I can describe it. I don't know who she is, but obviously she's a Caymanian or she can hire somebody, or she has Caymanian status. So, yeah, child, she was giving me the look. I'm like, why is this woman looking at me like that? I had a chuckle. I'm like, girl, you obviously don't know me, because it's all about telling the truth. You can get offended by the truth, but that's not my business. That's all I'm saying. According to LinkedIn, she's the owner at Global Travel Consultant. Ay. What a mess. Jared? Did I put you back in the studio, Jared?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a hot mess. I wish her all the best in her endeavors and a speedy recovery to her where she needs to get to.
She'll be getting to prison to Fairbanks, and then serve her time, and she should be deported thereafter. Is she bleaching? Oh, I don't know anything about that. But what I do know is at the end of the day, she's headed to jail. Simple. What do you think about giving people second chances? Why are people so quick to give a thief a second chance?
No. We're not in this business, yeah. Sorry, no. This is this is where it becomes hard, because that's a good question. Because I noticed, we've been talking about other people in the past and second chances. There are certain things that you cannot take second chances with. If you're a doctor and you do surgery, you can't. No second chance. No, and this just goes for everything. You can't commit an offense and expect a second chance where you have not reprieved yourself, in that you've put in time or shown that you're trying to make amends for your situation. I know we're in a cancel culture time period, but if you know the right thing, if you have a moral compass, yes or no, and you can differentiate, and you can willingly, knowingly commit an act to defraud people, like allegedly this, well, not allegedly, like the case has shown in the court, you can understand why people don't want to hire certain people when they come from prison, and this is the problem. But I don't know. I'm a second chance person with people who show the compassion that they mess up. They try and get back. They try and get back up on the right foot. But for people who I would say have disorders, because this is what it seems to show. People have these borderline disorders where they're just doing things and not having any actions to it, and trying to say, oh well, it wasn't me, it was something. Yeah, it creates a lot of confusion and frustration, because you can't have it both ways, right? You went to school for a period of time, right? You learned, okay, these are the rules, this is what you have to do. When you're out in the big world, and in the big world, as a matter of fact, you don't have second chances. So I don't know who telling people said they got second chances, because it doesn't work like that in the real world. So I am for second chances, but I'm for people who it's like a mistake, like they were in the wrong place at the wrong time type of thing, second chance type thing. But I'm also for people who made mistakes, but they know, say, boy, I made a mistake. Let me try fix up myself. But for the latter of people where they try to do something maliciously and then try to act like it wasn't them and try to give an excuse in the book, every excuse in the book. No. And my question is, how did this person seem to really pass through all the checkpoints to get to be in this beautiful country called the Cayman Islands? And I don't understand. Like, it just kind of makes me question whether protocols having been, designed, they're working, yeah, but we always seem to filter in bad apples, and nobody not going to say it, but I would say it for the record, and I said it straight, fresh off the press. Why are we accepting bad apples?
Well, I'll tell you part of what it is, right?
It's going to affect us 20, 30, 50 years down the line when you have people running the country. Of course. When you have people running the country who don't know what they're doing. Because
and not only that, Jared, but this is where employers need to take some level of responsibility, because it's almost like we rely on them to do their checks and balances to import people who are worthy of being here, and they may not be doing their checks and balances, and then Works drops the ball. So we don't know. They say she has no previous record. I find that the thing with most people who steal, by the time they're arrested, they've already stolen before. This is not a first victim sort of situation.
You know the thing with that criminal record check thing? It is as only good between the 3 islands, Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman. If you have not committed an offense And this is what I seem to know. So allegedly, if you have not committed an offense within those borders, it won't come up. So if you are from wherever, it's not going to be recorded. So it would look like you have a clean record. And so, yeah, the thing with that is that the RCIPS needs to create a linkage, if they haven't, with Interpol and security agencies around the world, such as USA, Canada, and the UK. The UK is here. Why aren't we saying, hey, UK, why don't we have a system where we can check, certain things? Because, UK got connections almost in every country, and UK got embassies almost everywhere. Not saying that they'd be able to access information, but the UK would be able to say, well, let us not use this person, because you have to bear in mind the intelligence service that the UK has is quite well. We all know when we all file for our passports, the amount of information we gotta give is more than our personal families don't even know. But of us, that is. But there needs to be a plan in really looking at data management for people coming in and trying to avoid taking people who do not have good intentions, because you could have 70% of the population who is good, but that 30%, it can cause a lot of social issues, dramas, and problems for the country. And so that needs to be looked at. I think the Commissioner of Police does good work. I think there could be drastic improvements in terms of what he deems as improvements and is getting better, because there's certain things that I see, such as accidents and all of those things of that nature, not really representing that improvement that he's talking about. So I don't know what improvement he's looking at. But if you have an accident every day, Mr. Commissioner, you're gonna get an F for your report from me, because it tells me either you're understaffed, which is probably what it is, or the issues that you're dealing with are so technical that they require a certain level of support. And so, when you had that drone thing, I said, oh, you got your drone and news. Does the police have drones? Are we using the cameras that are on the roads to run people license plate to make sure it's up to date? These are common sense things, honestly. The police should be running license plates for every license plate that is within 1 month to be expired, and watch if the person renew it. If they don't renew it, you ticket them, right? If people have plates where you can't identify their documents, take that vehicle off the road, because I think some of that might cut down in some of the risk factors that we're having with accidents. And I'm not saying that people who are driving don't have insurance. I'm just saying, in terms of the enforcement of the law, it is being done to a minimum or subpar minimum, which means it can't go below that, meaning it is below minimum, is what I'm saying. Now, it might seem that I'm bashing the RCIPS. I'm just trying to motivate them to do the great work that they do. They do great work, but the accidents are not attributing to that. And it is something that they have to take consideration of, because if you are the police, you have to maintain the law and order. Accidents are not good, because it means that people are more likely to have an injury that they shouldn't have. So we need the stronger police presence. And I've said, I don't know why they don't think that being on the road helps, but running your little Operation Oscar Oats or Fosca or whatever in December to just cut down drunk driving, it does help, but you need to be running consistent operations where you have either Operation Spring. You watch how things are going in January. Operation Summer. Watch what it needs to be continuous. You can't just be running operations ad hocly, which I know they're not doing. But when it comes to the public, if you just say, oh, we have an Operation Fosca Oats in December to cut down the crime, that's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But you know something? What's even more fun is that I noticed they be picking on people with tint, and that is a part of the crime fighting plan. Yes,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but the crime fighting plan is holistic. So
Mm-hmm.
accidents are an indicator of a certain level of lawlessness that, if it is not nipped in the bud, could trickle over to other serious crimes. So I think Erin earlier this morning was saying a guy whistled at her or touched her or something like that. I don't know. I might be mishearing something.
Oh, this was before, yes, when she used to do her exercising and stuff.
In
Yeah.
Cayman,
Yeah.
I want to put people on standby. According to the laws of Cayman, anybody who whistles at a woman or who looks at a woman in a derogatory way or even harasses a woman is liable to be commit an offense, meaning you can get in serious trouble. That should not be going on. So you see what I say, Miss Sandy? So so if accidents go one way, you'll see burglary go up, and burglary is going up. And the thing is that you don't even hear nothing from RCIPS other than when okay, things happen. But you and to be honest, their role is very complicated because they can't share their crime fighting plan really because it's confidential. But in terms of the presence, you're supposed to be like, oh yeah, Mr. Ebank's gonna be down that road there. So I know going I not going to go down that road there. People in Cayman supposed to be like, they're supposed to feel good because their police is there and the police has them.
Yes.
If my chance of me getting into an accident is higher than me being protected on the roads, something is wrong. And this commissioner is not meeting the job. Sorry to say, he been doing a good job for the earlier part of the years then, but accidents, come on, get your superintendents on it, get your chief of inspector out from each district on the road running the beat. Every sergeant supposed to be out, every constable supposed to be out. If the commissioner needs planning on that, I will be glad to tell him, because it ain't that hard. But from a strategic standpoint, in terms of resources, it might be hard because not everybody can be out on the road. Well, meaning RCIP officer. But you can have at least 2 to 3 officers from each district to round the clock 24/7. Because we got 7 districts, right? And they just cover area. All you gotta do is let them just drive around. Just have the RCIPS vehicle just driving around, and that will cool everybody down. But you see the thing, I don't know. The commissioner doesn't have my confidence. I'll say that for the record. Simply because of the accident that happened today in particular, and simply because of the other preceding accidents that have happened. And when my representative lady was here, and I saw the numbers, those numbers, the only reason our numbers went down in 2020 was because the former Sir Premier had put us on lockdown. So it's either or. Either Department of Vehicle and Driver's License has to be more strategic with who they're giving the license to, and either the insurance companies in conjunction with DVDL and RCIPS need to create a database management system that is monitoring people who are committing offenses, which forces them to lose their license. In that, if you're running a stop sign, points deducted, and if a person gets more than a certain amount of points, they lose their license, because this lawlessness is not going to work. It's not going to work. And to that effect, with the transport thing, either they're going to tell people to go green or whatever in terms of carpooling and whatever, and that has been done. But overall, the issue is that there is lawlessness on the road, and so it's the commissioner's fault, because he's the top cop. It stops and starts with him. So I expect I expect something to be done. I know when he was in Parliament, he was saying more resources, more resources.
Mm-hmm.
RCIPS gets a good amount of budget.
Mm-hmm.
And the police officers that keep crashing the cars, yeah, that's not going to work. So my problem is that the commissioner of police has a failing grade. Yeah.
All right. Well, Jared, we're into overtime, well into overtime. I've got a client meeting at 11:30 and another one at 1 o'clock, so I better get to work so some bills can be paid.
Yeah,
we don't have the option of stealing from people around here, child.
Yes, we got work. We got work.
Understand?
Yeah.
We got work. We got bills to pay. We got children to keep in school. We got stuff to do, folks. So peace out, Jared. All right, folks. Again, thank you so much, Jared, for joining the program. It's always good to hear from Jared. I enjoy him coming on and sharing some words of wisdom with us and things from his perspective. Do you know that you can join the show just like Jared? Anybody can come on, don't be shy. This is 2022. Use the available technology, folks, that allows you to be able to jump on the show and talk. Let us hear from you. I'm going to have some updates, hopefully by next week for you guys about the radio situation, whether it's going to happen, not happen. We'll get all the details. Big shout out to Flow. They keep us connected. We doing some fiber around here, some super fast fiber. They have some new speeds that really impressed me the other day. I was like, what? Now this is super fast. 500 download, 250 and upload. That is nice. I got to tell you, I'm a little bit envious of people who can get those packages. El Ray says, I agree the RCAPS needs to do more random checks on licensing and insurance compliance instead of tint. Well, tint might be part of it because we know criminals like to use their tint for obvious reasons, but that's not the whole story. So we need more. Hopefully the RCIPS is paying attention. Yes, El Ray. Flo got us locked here. This is why the stream is so good. Y'all notice that the quality of our stream continues to improve. And part of the reason for that is because of our connection. It's great. Having a good connection. DJ Yo-Yo says, I'm still waiting for Flo to get fiber to Bodden Town. They're coming. I don't know how far in Bodden Town you are, but they're coming because I know for a fact they're all the way down by Northward at least. So they're coming. Soon come. Thank you, Paul, joining us from Bermuda. We appreciate the love and support from all of our international followers. Fantastic show today. I didn't get to talk about everything. So tomorrow's program, I want y'all to tune in because I didn't get to talk about the hate crime. I didn't get to talk about the duty-free increase in items. I didn't get to talk about CMEA in their letter. So let me actually, I'm going to pull those out and just send myself a little reminder because those topics will now transfer to tomorrow's show. So sometimes a particular topic we spend a little bit more time on than we might have thought. But, we like to give things sufficient discussion. So tomorrow we'll address some of those other topics. I see Lovell is messaging me about a tonic for men to enhance their manlyhood. What a mess. Paul El Ray confirms that they're on their way. So Yo-Yo, give them a call because they can normally kind of tell you when more or less it's going to be scheduled for to be in your area. Folks, did you guys miss the news segment last night? Now, it was super late. My apologies. It was just one of those things where poor Misha had problem upon problem upon problem. And you wouldn't know it from looking at the end result in the video. But it was a challenge. So I want to say shout out to Misha, girl. You got this. Nobody knows what it takes to put on and do the things that we do unless you're doing it yourself. It looks easy. I know it looks easy. Everybody's like, oh, I can do that. You can. It's possible. But it takes way more than you realize. So Misha had some great news stories yesterday. It didn't go up until like after midnight. I was trying to do the edits and stuff at the last minute. And I did notice a little bit of an error in part of my editing. But you know what? Still go watch it. You'll get the news. Misha looks beautiful. Maybe she is the reason why I'm getting all these messages from India today. But go and like it. CMR Daily Buzz is here, your direct source for news. We're bringing you the news headlines of the day. So go check that out. And again, Misha, you're doing a great job. Every day we're making improvements. The day before, there's a little bit, the audio wasn't quite there. Yesterday, the audio was better. But the irony is to get the audio to the point where it was better, was a little bit of an issue. So thank you so much, everyone who tunes in to all of our programs. Again, 2022 is our year. We're claiming it, we're naming it, and we're claiming it. And there's so much more to come. But do tune in tomorrow morning at 7:30. We're going to talk about this hate crime situation because to me, this is very, very disturbing. I thought we were better than that. And I don't know who these people are, but I hope that they are arrested forthwith. I hope that the Strand has some decent security camera and they can figure out who these people are that assaulted the two young men, or two men. I don't know how old or young they were. Honestly, we're going to get it. We're going to get it sorted out, I hope, but we want to discuss it. All right, everybody, have a beautiful and blessed day. Go work hard. The sky is the limit, but within reason. So you've got to work hard. You've got to put in your time. You've got to do all the things that are required for you to achieve whatever you define as success. And people have different definitions of success. A lot of people, it isn't even about paying bills. They wish they didn't have to pay any bills. They want to be debt free. And that to me is real success, is not having any debt. Ooh, that's financial freedom. And that's what I'm aiming for. But the irony of it is in order to get financial freedom, you got to work and you got to pay off stuff. It doesn't just happen, right? It's very, very difficult to have financial freedom without involving money. The irony of it. Anyway, my good people, be blessed. Have a beautiful day. And we'll see you guys tomorrow, which is Friday already. This week went by fast. Take care. Until then.
Thank you for tuning in to another edition of The Cold Hard Truth. Make sure to check Facebook for showtimes and more information and the latest news at CaymanMarlRoad.com. Subscribe to our IG and Facebook pages to get the latest happenings.